welcome everybody to episode 2 of Purple Mortgage Guys, here with Tanner Weber, Brent Vandergreen here. And episode 2, we got a victory Monday. We can talk a little recap of the game yesterday, Tanner. Pretty exciting start to the season. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I know we had discussed this morning, even this afternoon, about how it seems like this is the first game in quite a while, probably 2, 3, 4 years, where it felt like we went quarter 1 to quarter 4 and didn't really have too many mistakes. I know Zimmer's teams always seemed like they struggle to put together 4 quarters. They either start real hot and finish sloppy, or start sloppy and finish hot. So it's very encouraging, I think, to see a new staff like this come in and be able to put together a team that came firing out like this on the first game of the year. So I'm excited to keep chugging forward and see if they can stay consistent.
Yeah, I know you tweeted about it yesterday. 23-7. I think that was the first time Aaron Rodgers has ever failed to not get to double digits against the Vikings in his career. So
insane statistic for sure.
Pretty cool start to the season. Me and you were talking before we started, like what would we nitpick at, and we had a hard time coming up with anything that we were disappointed with, which is not the normal post-game reaction to a Vikings game usually. So pretty exciting start to the year. 23-7. Some of the big plays yesterday, I guess. JJ obviously had the monster game. Cousins played well. In the stadium, they were chanting MVP already in the second quarter, and we didn't know if it was for Cousins or for Jefferson. So that's probably a good problem to have.
That's a good problem to have.
Got out early, almost had a 7-7 game. Probably should have had a 7-7 game on Rodgers' first drop back. Threw it wide open down the field. Christian Watson lets it go right between his hands. Could have been a huge momentum shift. It was not, fortunately. And we ended up going up early, 17-0 at half, I believe it was.
Yep.
Right before half, we got the ball back with like 27 seconds, and we weren't even content with that. We kept pushing the gas pedal. Obviously ended up punting again, but that is quite a cry from what we're used to here the last couple of seasons. So very refreshing, good to see. I don't know, just overall a great start to the season. I don't know, any other thoughts on how everything started?
I just can't believe like the black and white difference between the offensive changes with Zimmer's staff and this staff already. I remember seeing one stat yesterday about how many times I think the Vikings were like second or last in the league last year, second to last in the league in motion sweeps, I guess, and how much they utilize that. And I think JJ was motioned, I think 6 times in the first half already yesterday. So, and also keeping the foot on the pedal, I guess they were throwing still, even in the fourth quarter when they were up and running a no huddle offense.
We were snapping the ball with 20 seconds to go on the play clock. Like we weren't playing scared like we maybe would have in years past. Maybe you could say that's a little bit sloppy, but we were pushing for more, which I think was refreshing.
Not something we've typically seen with Zimmer's teams in the past, playing conservatively, running the ball when they're up, and giving the other team a chance to stay in it. I think
even that first series was fourth and 1, I think, from like the 2-yard line, and just to be aggressive, and not only to be aggressive, but we didn't slam the running back, up the A gap and try to pick up a first down. It was like throwing it around, and Jefferson gets his first of 2 touchdowns in that opening drive. So really hard to be disappointed or complain about anything with that one. So last Friday, I believe, we had our first episode. We threw out some predictions. We each had a bold prediction, and then we had a recap of the game. And I think we both predicted a 7-point victory. We were pretty optimistic. Obviously win by 16. We thought it'd be a little bit higher scoring. We did not probably anticipate the Packers only getting 1 touchdown. They did shoot themselves in the foot on that fourth and goal where we stuffed them, and then later in the game 4th and 1, and they I think threw it to the tight end Tanyan up the middle there, and then obviously the turnovers. So it could have been a different game, but it wasn't. yeah, just all around, everything worked out in our favor yesterday. So prediction wise, let's see, your bold prediction was Cousins would throw for 350 and 2 touchdowns. You said O'Connell would really open things up. It'd be an exciting offense. We'd be clicking on all cylinders. And I would say all of those things were true. Stats wise, first half was unbelievable. I think, I don't know how many yards he had in the first half. It was close to 200.
It was like 183 or something like that.
183. And then ends with 277 and 2. So yeah, you missed it by a little bit, but overall, I think we're pretty impressed with how that went for Cousins yesterday. And then my bold prediction, maybe the only time of the year I'll nail this one, but I was Rodgers would turn it over 2 times, which he doesn't normally do. But it felt like he was maybe pressing a little bit, and then just not that connection with his receivers either. So
yeah, I was shocked that you nailed the nail on the head on with that, but I'm curious to see if that will continue, if that'll be a trend going forward the rest of the year, just because he doesn't have a lot of weapons this year. So I'm wondering if we'll see a lot more forced throws from him. I know
you think they're gonna be looking to sign or trade for a veteran receiver? Like, I don't see how as a Packers fan you can be confident in that group.
I mean, he's got pretty good rapport with Alan Lazard, who was out for the first week, but coming back, and they'll maybe take a look and see what they have with him. But if there's not much improvement, I think they could definitely test the market out, make a trade, or maybe even bring in somebody like OBJ. So
yeah, that first one to Watson, man, that he could have been like
detrimental,
lights out rookie performance, week 1, because what would that have been, like a 70-yard touchdown?
Yeah, 75
maybe even, because I think it was right after the kickoff. So literally like a couple plays later, and they could have tied it up. So yeah, we'll see how that unfolds for the Pack, but yeah, pretty happy here in Purple World here on Monday. So
absolutely.
Yeah, let's get in. We want to do this every Monday or Tuesday if they play on a Monday night. Rants and raves about the game. We're each going to pick one, and I'm thinking the rants this week are going to be hard to come by. But Tanner, why don't you kick us off? What's one thing that you would have liked to see a little different?
I couldn't. This is a good problem to have. I couldn't find one really to complain about, but if I had to pick something going through the recap of the game yesterday, it'd probably be the utilization of Irv Smith. I don't know if he maybe wasn't utilized quite as much because he is just coming off of injury, but we know what he can do based off what we've seen him do in the past. And obviously I don't think Johnny Munt's anywhere near as talented as Irv Smith Jr. So I'd just like to see him utilized a little more in the offense, and that could just be a deadly monster with him and Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, Adam Thielen. Like, there's no reason that they couldn't be the best offense in the league this year.
Even Johnny Munt, though, I'm looking at the stats. He had a pretty good game yesterday too. I think he had the first catch of the season, which I would say nobody probably saw coming. But yeah, 3 catches, 17 yards. I thought he caught all 3 targets. So
he was solid. He didn't do anything to lose the game. That's all that matters.
I thought Osborne might get involved a little bit more, but when JJ's just destroying the other defense, saw a stat on one of JJ's catches, like that one, I think with a touchdown, there was no one within, there's three defenders supposedly around him, like 11 yards, 13 yards from him. It looked like he was expecting to get hit and nobody was around. So that was pretty cool. So your rant would be getting Irv Smith more involved.
If I had to pick something, that'd be it.
You got to pick something. Got to start somewhere.
Yeah,
I would say I got a little nervous in the third quarter when it felt like they were gashing us a little bit with the Packers run game, our run D. Again, nitpicking probably because you look at the stats, they weren't that bad, but I think the average run for both backs from Green Bay, maybe a little bit on the higher side, but yeah, I mean, we're giving them some of that too. So it's kind of, maybe a little bit of game management and how things unfolded. But you mentioned like you were not nervous one bit yesterday. You were in cruise control the whole game.
I felt the entire time I was watching the game, I didn't feel like there was a single moment where it felt like the Packers were kind of, slip back in, I guess. Even when Jones broke off that 20-yard run, I still just we were constantly bringing pressure yesterday, and it just felt like Rodgers wasn't comfortable with where he was at in the offense. So, I guess there's no reason, like I said, this year that our offense
Well,
shouldn't
and
be
that's the
number
thing,
one in
like
the
Green
league. So
Bay's
I think,
defense is supposed to be really, really strong, right? Like we'll see if they
Right.
are or not, but coming into the year, I think they had high ratings across the board on D. So yeah, pretty encouraging there.
but our offense will keep us in every game this year. So as long as the defense can stay consistent and hold other teams to points and play the way they did yesterday, constantly get pressure, I think it should be a successful season.
Yeah, it's a breath of fresh air, right? It's fun to watch.
Absolutely.
Well, this will be the easy. Maybe this is harder actually. What would be your rave, like your biggest reason to be optimistic yesterday? And yeah, granted, there were a lot of them. Our fellow Packers fans here in the office would probably tell us we're putting too much stock in one game, but there's a lot of things to be excited about. What was the number one thing for Tanner?
I think you and I will probably see on the same page or stay on the same page with this. But it's just the offensive playbook selection, I guess. I don't even know if they've opened up their entire playbook yet. I doubt they have, but seeing Justin Jefferson utilized the way Cooper Kupp was utilized last year with the Rams. I mean, Kupp had nearly a record-breaking season historically last year. So it was just cool to see that happen, and I guess in our world with Justin Jefferson as well, with all the motion sweeps and finding mismatches for him in the defense to get him open.
I think you nailed it on that. And let's say they really, own it and focus on stopping Jefferson, then you're going to see guys like Osborne and Irv Smith get more involved. And we obviously know what Thielen can do. Dalvin had a great game yesterday. It wasn't even really talked about just because JJ had such a phenomenal performance that, almost overshadowed another good day from Dalvin. I think it's cool. Like you see on the sidelines, you see O'Connell and Cousins actually working together and on the same page. It's easy to, poke shots at Zimmer because he was a defensive guy and not necessarily an offensive minded coach, but it feels like they are on the same page. They're working together. O'Connell's excited when Kirk does something. I saw one time Kirk was frustrated, but they were talking things out during the timeout, and it just feels different than it has in the last several years. And I think that's going to get us a shot in the arm to get a good start on the season, and hopefully, can help us build some momentum going forward. So yeah, overall, just super excited about how things unfolded, what it looked like. It passed the eye test. Not a lot to complain about. So we'll see what happens, next week, Monday night, hostile environment in Philadelphia. It could be a whole different story. And you don't want to ever get too high on the wins or too low after the losses, but overall it feels like we're on the right path. So
yeah, we'll have to come back down to earth eventually. We got to remember it is just week one. It was exciting to see a performance like that, but the Packers did get their butts kicked last year in week one as well, and they turned it around pretty quickly. So
it's a long season.
Keep the foot on the gas pedal.
Yeah, long season for sure. So, well, anything else you want to add, Tanner?
Nope. Just want to reiterate again that we are in mortgage here. So if you guys are ever looking to purchase or want to refinance, take a look at some refinance options. We would love to take a look at that for you.
Awesome. Well, we will probably jump back on again Friday, give some predictions for next Monday night's game, and we'll talk to you all then. So have a great week, everybody.